everyone. Today we are going to learn about the law of conservation of angular momentum. Angular momentum is a vector quantity which describes the overall state of a physical system. As you learned from your professor, angular momentum is the product of particles distance cross linear momentum.
Every week.
What's the matter? Is there a problem?
Do you find that students in your class are more focused on their own conversations than your lecture? Or perhaps they have a glazed look, seem lost, and are not eager to participate. Students may not be misbehaving. They may be confused by the technicality of the lecture being presented. English is an intricate and difficult language to master. Within English, we have what are called registers. Registers are the word choice and type of speech used in a given situation. If your register is too academically advanced and lacks basic interpersonal communication skills, then your students might not be able to relate to you and the information you wish to convey. The educational theory of BICS and CALP can address this problem. BICS stands for Basic Interpersonal Communication Skills and includes everyday language used in face-to-face conversations and telephone conversations. This is the language used with peers, family and friends, is at times informal, and is always aimed at establishing personal relationships. Context is a key part of BICS, as is a contextual framework from which to build language around. CALP stands for Cognitive Academic Language Proficiency. This involves the language used to discuss complex academic concepts and theories. This is the language used in academic lectures and conferences. Based on the theory of BICS and CALP, it is possible that your word choices may inadvertently create a distance between you and your class. As a result, your class might not be able to process the information in the form you are presenting it. This could create a problem for the student, and the ITA may be perceived as confusing, misunderstood, or difficult to follow. If students believe that you are speaking at a level above their cognitive academic language proficiency, they may become bored or lose interest. As an ITA, you are now faced with the task of motivating the students, conveying the information as appropriate, and mending the communication barrier between you and your class. That is a tremendous amount to accomplish in one class period. Now, let's revisit this situation and see some helpful suggestions on how you can incorporate BICS into your lesson.
Hi, folks. Did you see the figure skating of 2010 Winter Olympics? It was fascinating watching Yeona Kim, who was the gold medalist of figure skating at Winter Olympics. Especially her spin was gorgeous. Do you want to watch a little bit?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Relate the topic to the interest of the students. Physics especially can be related to almost anything. Choose a sport, for example, that your students enjoy and represent the idea through that. Make it appeal to your students by explaining the idea through pictures or a short video. If your students can see a visual representation of the idea, they will be more likely to understand the concept.
Did you see her spin? So when Yeona stretched out her leg, her spinning speed went down. But when she pulled her leg close to her body, her spinning speed went up. Did you notice it?
Yeah, I saw that.
Since Yeona was performing on the ice rink without friction, so her angular momentum was conserved. So that's the reason why her spinning speed went down when she stretched her leg, and when she pulled her leg close to her body, it went up, according to the definition of angular momentum.
Provide your students with handouts that include diagrams, pictures, and explanations of sophisticated vocabulary. It's important to explain any new terms so that your students don't feel lost during the lesson.
Let's see another video clip.
They have a lot of mass. So if I take this little handle down here, I can pull down and slide the balls in, and they go a lot faster. Or I can let it spread back out again.
So now, do you all understand the concept of angular momentum?
All right, I think I get it. Yuna crossed her arms when she was jumping and spinning to increase her speed in the air so that she could complete all 3 rotations of her triple axel, right?
Engage your students in the lesson. Ask them to repeat what you have said or encourage them to come up with their own example demonstrating the idea to see if they have understood what you have taught them.
As you can see, the ITA was able to incorporate BICS into the lecture and resolve this issue of being misunderstood. It is essential that the ITA has extensive academic knowledge about the topic being taught, but you cannot assume that your students know the same amount. When you are planning to teach a new concept related to that topic, you need to be prepared to keep your students interested, motivated, and focused.